Morning all. Here's my video for the day. It's all going to be about a number. And it's going to be Robin Dunbar's number. So it's not called Robin Dunbar's number, it's actually called Dunbar's number. Number 150. You know what that stands for? That stands for roughly the family or group unit that we are used to, our herd. Humans are roughly made for a herd of about 150. It used to be smaller when we weren't as populated. But I don't believe you'd get to know everyone in that herd of 150. Now, what it's basically telling us is that's how our mentality is geared for. It's geared for a group. But you know what? They've broken all that down. Somebody very evil is breaking down what we are. Now, if you've seen this in the animal kingdom, like if you suddenly seen zebras hanging out by themselves, not hanging around in a herd, or elephants even, you'd be going, gee, something weird's going on. You'd investigate it. But for some reason, with humans, just checking if my coffee's arrived yet. For some reason, with humans, no one's investigating it, which makes me believe it's been done intentionally. Now, first they were breaking us down. First they were breaking us down into family units, right? Mum, dad, kids. But now they thought, you know what, that's not enough. Let's break them down further. Now they're divorcing the mums and fathers. But you know what, with hardship, that's not going to work anymore. People are going to stay together, man, no matter what. There's going to be no excuse of there's just no love between us, or he works too much, or she's fat. You know, there's not going to be that anymore, guys. It's going to be hardship. Stay together or perish. That's the way we're going. Now, it won't be enough. Like, let's say, look at a single mother. She struggles, and it would be bloody stressful hanging around a screaming baby all day. Albeit, not all babies scream. Some do. I had a screamer, I had a quiet one. Now, that's not hard on your psyche. You need a break. Now, in the old family unit, where there was a small tribe, the grandmothers or someone would take the kid, you know. A young woman is still capable of doing hard work, so she'd go out, maybe collect crops from the field. Or grandparents can't. They're done. They're cooked. But they still can look after the grandkids. So the mother gets a break. See? The father doesn't have everything thrown on his plate by himself. He's got a whole tribe that helps him, and he helps the tribe. That's the way it once was. That's not what's being done to us today anymore. Now, hardship is going to fix all that up. The people that don't see it, they're not going to last long. Or they're just going to do it very bloody hard. What else have I got to say? Now, I come from a former military background. This is interesting. Now, the military, it's got a way of bonding guys that had never mixed in civilian life. But these guys bond, and there's a bloody strong bond. And I believe they do it through hardship. The harder they make times, the more closely bonded you are. Facts. I've lived through that. You know. Now, our children's future, it's looking bloody hard. Our children, if they do it by themselves, get out of the way of that steering wheel. If they do it to themselves, they're not going to be able to afford a house. What I'm proposing is groups get together, make BlackRock, but your own version. Call it whatever you want. You know, get the trust funds organised, get a group of people organised. If someone can invest $10 million and buy a house, buy it for $10 million. If someone can afford to put $200 into that house, put it down into that house. Have something very similar to the blockchain and cold storage organised. So you got the figures down, who owns what. All right? And that way no one gets ripped off. Keep it inside your tribe. Grow the tribe. Now, I'm not saying go back to the days when we're picking up axes and shields, but what I am saying is put a massive group of people together. IT, lawyers, accountants, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, gardeners, traders. If you've got people that are good at talking, load them up with a truck full of produce, send them off to the country markets. The lawyer might not want to go out to the farm. Keep him in the city. Same with the accountant, keep him in the cities. They can build a little place out there for themselves. When they come to relax, unwind, they might decide to stay there. As we've got our neighbour's a lawyer. And her husband is a highly successful builder. You know? So, but you know, a lot of people don't see it this way. Well, what can I say? I'm not going to force anything down anyone's throat. I'm going to talk about a guy that's doing exactly this thing. He's building little towns. Now, you can build little towns. Like, for an example, in Australia... my coffee's here somewhere. Just got a message. For example, here in Australia, you can actually buy houses in little towns for ridiculously small prices. You know, 30, 40,000 out in central Australia. Nevertheless, you've got yourself a town. The whole price of the town's cheap as. All right, guys. You guys take it easy, and we chat soon.